All right. How's it going, first of all? Part of my absence online is honestly just because of the fact that I haven't been able to get any work as of late. It's been forcing me to, do Uber Eats, Uber Express, and DoorDash with my girlfriend's car. It pays almost decently. I do have an update. It's been a few posts now ago that I was actually working on getting my server up and going for my business. Now, this is the part where I actually am going to be doing a deep dive on why I'm doing a server, how I'm going about getting this set up, and also just showing my progress with it and everything like that. I didn't realize how involved this was going to be, if I'm to be totally honest. It's been one of those things that sounded good in theory, sounded fairly straightforward. I wasn't expecting it to be, click here, and you're done. Like, I wasn't expecting that. But I was expecting things to be still written in English, and I'll get to that here in a bit. But the main reason why I want to set up a server, I just don't have the consistent income for Google Drive or Dropbox or anything like that, right? I don't want to have to keep on paying for storage that's ultimately not mine at the end of the day. And also the fact that, I am a tech, I am following tech news and everything like that. And of course, I'm seeing when Facebook gets hacked, I'm seeing when Google has their passwords leaked, and, oh, well, this company did this thing like 6 months ago or something like that, and it wound up blowing up in their faces. Wait a minute, why weren't we as consumers and also small businesses informed about this stuff, whenever it happened, so that way we could, actually brace for an impact if there was one. So that's ultimately what this boils down to, is just the idea of self-hosting. As long as I'm the one in full total control of if something or someone were to get into my server, I can act on it instantly. As long as I know about it and everything like that. There are some instances where I know that, you can build Fort Knox, technologically speaking, and somebody that has enough drive, enough patience, and enough skill can find their way in. But at least it'll still be mine, and I'll still have as much control over it as anyone can have over their own home server. I want to be able to look at the news and see, articles about, AWS gets shut down, Google has their passwords leaked again, whatever the case is like that. Oh, YouTube changed their terms of service, and now, this type of video that I made, 1 or 2 or 3 years ago, all of a sudden is no longer acceptable because, they changed things up again, or whatever the case is. I want to be able to host my own videos on my own server. I want to be able to host my own website on my own server whenever I get it up and going. I want to be able to send my clients, whenever I get them, a link that provides them a portal into my server, but only for that file, right? Or only for that folder, or whatever the case is. I want to self-host, right? Now, what I didn't anticipate was that self-hosting and creating a server, that is IT. That is classified as IT. That is classified as networking. That is classified as... I wasn't anticipating so many things to not be written in plain English, right? I looked into TrueNAS Scale, and I'll show you this actually here right now. Go ahead and pull this up. See, I looked into TrueNAS Scale, and I mean, so far most of this is written in plain English, right? I think we can agree with that. But then we start getting into, things like data sets and, shares and just, different things like this, and nothing is obvious, right? Nothing is like, if I'm trying to access the data that is on my drive, which is right here, I believe. Nope. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Manage datasets. Okay, yeah. That's still not right. Where the hell? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Where did it go? Manage disks. No. Well, you can kind of see it here. I've got a 10 terabyte hard drive inside my server right now. And why is that disabled? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so at least I think that's fine. But yeah, no, I want to be able to make sure that my data is my data, and that AWS or Google or Microsoft have as little say in my data as possible. And we're talking about data that's like my video files, music that I've made, project file settings and everything like that. Like, whenever I make an animated video versus whenever I make music for my videos, whenever I make, or the footage that's generated with my camera, or even, this here. I want to make sure that, if Google goes down for whatever reason, or they're hacked or have a breach or whatever the case is, my files are fine, right? So with that being the case, I want to make sure that, all my data is as secure as I can make it. But as you can see here, like, especially like this shit, I mean, I really do not fully understand what's going on here. Group object admin. What the hell does that even mean? And don't get me wrong, I have been watching videos on how to set things up like this. Where to go? OBS. Nope, not OBS. TrueNAS Scale. I've been watching these videos. Like, you can see these videos here that I've been watching and everything. Complete tutorial, Windows and TrueNAS syncing. Enhance your TrueNAS Scale storage with web-based file manager app, and just all these like that. They are all step-by-step guides on how to set up a server, the basics, everything like that. Where I get tripped up is minor differences, and whenever they say, okay, well, let me just show you here real fast. How to set up and configure sync thing. I actually already did that. Like, to show you guys here real fast, actually, that I actually did get sync thing set up. I'm just gonna stay logged in, to hell with it. Not good. Okay, yeah, unknown. Okay, where am I going here? Or wait, no. Apps. Sync thing, running, web portal, here we go, and here we go, and there we go. Okay, so yeah, right here even, like, I got all that figured out, right? Like, all of this right here is figured out. I don't know if yeah, all of this stuff right here is all figured out. And according to this, I've got everything backed up and everything like that, but oh my God, was it a nightmare to do. And nothing about this is obvious. And I'm actually going to go back over to here. TrueNAS Scale, share your files with SMB, beginner setup, how to configure sync thing, open browsers. Okay. I think it might be that one. No, actually, hold on. Let's see. I can actually come here and then go here. Nope. Network. And then TrueNAS. I still can't get in. And I don't understand why. Like, okay, error code, blah, 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 blah. I can look that up. Let me see here real fast. Accompanied by the message, the network path was not found, can occur when you have difficulty accessing files or computers on your network. yeah, that's pretty much it. Target shared folder only supports SMB v1 connections or SMB v2 guest access. What's that? So yeah, no. Okay, so like I was saying, nothing about what I'm doing is obvious here, and yeah, there's a network error. I don't really know how to diagnose it yet. The network path was not found. Okay, fine. Actually, hold on. Let me see. TrueNAS. Let's see. Oh, I may have to do. What the hell was that? Passwords. Here we go. Okay, so I don't remember. I think it was admin though. I do remember that much. Again. Or wait. Here we go. Yep. Okay. Yep. Copy. Okay. Make sure it's correct. Yep. And okay. Now we're in shares, but there's nothing there. Okay. But if we go over here and then on into here again, shares, there's supposed to be both of these things there. Now, if we go over here to storage, not that. It's been a while since so I just got internet back, like today, right? And I've been kind of not having it for almost a month now. So bear with me while I stumble through this. Data sets. Okay, so shares. Or is it supposed to be server? Is this supposed to be server? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Enabled? I can't enable it. And see, this is the other part that I'm talking about. Like that. What the hell does this even mean? Error. Trace back most recent last user that Python is. Yeah, no, got me. Results equals wait self dot middleware dot call underscore with underscore audit. Like I genuinely do not know how to read this. SMB shares containing the app's dataset are not permitted. I actually don't know what that means. I genuinely don't. And this is what I mean whenever I say, I will sit here and rather, even better yet, with my previous job at TrackPhone, my previous day job, I would get customers that would come in all the time, and they have some giant misconceptions about iPhone, and, oh, well, I don't buy super expensive smartphones. I stick with Android because that's what I know and because they're easier to use, and this, that, and the other thing, and I just don't keep phones for very long, and blah, 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 blah. And that's whenever I started to educate them about, hey, even me being an Android guy, and I showed them that I've got a Pixel. Like, I've got the Pixel 6 Pro. Right? So I even told them that, I'm an Android guy because I'm a tech. Right? I understand what I'm doing. I know there's certain services and certain apps that you don't download, like, basically any kind of antivirus app or whatever like that, that's, free antivirus or free VPN or whatever like that. I know better than to download those things because the free ones just mine your data, right? They mine your data, they take up resources on your phone, and especially if you're getting like $50 to $100 smartphones or whatever like that, it's just not worth it, right? Apple doesn't allow those apps on their platform. Why? Because they don't want a whole bunch of apps that are just going to serve a whole bunch of ads in bulk down the phone. I'm talking about seriously malicious, running rampantly wild ads, pop-up ads, full screen, the type that have a timer on it as to when you can actually click out before you even open an app. It's the file explorer apps that you can download and shit like that. Like, I know better than to download those apps. I know better than to download text now. I know better than to, download all these different skins and everything like that. They don't even, they're taking up resources on your phone. And especially if you've got a 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100 burner phone, it's not even worth it. Like, even if you liked it, it wasn't even worth it. Right. And so I could talk to them about how, Apple at the end of the day is a tech company. Their app store might be, it might have a lot less apps to it, but that's because of the fact that the hoops that legitimate app developers have to jump through to get their app published on Android versus their app published on Apple is a night and day difference. I understand concepts like that. Right, I understand where Apple commands a higher price tag because they actually truly make a premium product in a lot of ways. There are some ways that they're very anti-competitive and anti-customer, and I'm following that. I get that. I understand it. So I know tech as far as consumer tech and business is concerned. I don't know about this. I don't know programming. I don't know networking. I don't know scripting. I know what Python is. Like, I know it's a scripting language. That's about the most I know. I also know that it's very one of the more popular scripting languages. But I don't understand, Lenny's. I don't understand this. So this is not intuitive. It is not, user-friendly at all. And I get it, I know at the end of the day, it's still an enterprise. This is still enterprise software. Like, it's not made for the average person. I'm a small business, and whenever I don't understand something, I either go to YouTube or ChatGPT or Google. But even that hasn't really been helpful.
Okay. Today, we're going to take a look at TrueNAS Scale.
Okay.
And how we can do an SMB share for your network devices on your NAS.
That was a little loud. Cool intro.
So let's sign into our TrueNAS Scale. This is already set up, so let's get signed in.
Okay.
This interface should be pretty familiar. It looks very similar to the...
Let's see. Does my interface look like that? Across. Yeah, more or less. TrueNAS Scale. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Continue on, my good sir.
Core. The steps in here to set this up for your SMB share or your network share is going to be very similar in TrueNAS Core. So if you follow these steps, the user interface is a little bit different, but the steps should essentially be the same. So the first thing we're going to need to do to set up a NAS is configure our storage on our TrueNAS Scale. You can see here there is no storage set up.
Okay, so storage, data set, yeah, storage. I've already got one pool set up. So yeah, that's all good.
If we select disks up here, we can see that we have some disks. Mm-hmm. The first one, SDA, is the operating system for TrueNAS. We're not going to be able to use that to store any data. It's just the way TrueNAS runs. You need separate disks. So we have 4 8 gigabyte disks here, and we will create a new pool. So we'll go back to storage and we will select create pool. So the pool we're going to create is going to be called tank. We're going to use all 4 disks. So we select the top.
And the only reason why I'm not doing this right now is because of the fact that I've already, I mean, like I said, like I showed you here, like I've already got this all set up right here. Like that's literally the only reason.
Select the arrow to move them over to the data VDEV. So once that's selected, we can choose here which type of VDEV we want to create. So it's automatically selected on RAID Z2. I'm not going to go with a RAID Z2. We just need a RAID Z. The difference is in RAID Z2 there'll be 2 parity disks, and in RAID Z there'll be 1 parity disk. So you essentially get a little bit more storage, but you still get at least 1 disk of safety where 1 disk could fail and your data would still be fine. I'm fine with this. This is just a virtual machine.
I don't remember exactly which one I went with, but I do know that I've only got the 1 disk in my server because I'm it's the only backup that I have. My primary drive is in my PC, right? So I'm using my server, the whole server, as a backup. I do understand that ideally, I do understand that, you know, the way that TrueNAS Scale is really supposed to work is ultimately that what actually happens is that TrueNAS is, it's where I work from, and it's also the backup, right? So what he's explaining here is that, you would have 2 or 4 or 8 drives or whatever like that, and half the drives would be copying themselves to the other half the drives, mirroring themselves and everything like that. I am doing it this way because, I mean, to me it just makes the most sense, right? If I don't want the latency of editing video from my server through my home network instead of just through, a hard drive that's already in my PC right down here, right? My server's back here, but my PC is over here. I want to be able to leave the bandwidth alone for whenever I'm editing, for whenever, I'm editing, and whatever edits I do are automatically also backed up through my network connection to my server, right? Editing in itself, regardless of if I'm editing footage or animation or whatever the case is, even exporting, that takes a lot, right? It's a lot of moving data, right? So I need the latency as low as possible. Therefore, I have all my raw footage and all my project files and everything like that primarily on my primary drive inside my PC physically. And then I've got the same hard drive, the same type of hard drive, a 10 terabyte hard drive in my server back behind me. But the only thing that's doing is backing up and being mirrored from my primary, right? So basically I've got like 2 different processes going at once, and neither one are very taxing on the other one, right? So yeah, I'm doing it that way. Is it really made to do that? No, because as you see right here, it says, data VDEVs. See, I don't even understand what VDEVs is. But it says, there's no redundancy, which is technically true, because like I said, there's no redundancy in the server itself. The server itself is the redundancy, right? The server itself is the redundancy because it's working, it's mirroring itself. I've already got it all worked out here to transfer for everything to transfer between my backup, or rather between my where'd it go? My PC, which I nicknamed Zalan, more on that later, right to just the hard drive that's named backup, the folder rather that's named backup on my backup hard drive. So I've already got these 2 things communicating with each other, right? But So it's not really made to work that way. I'm making it work that way, and it does work that way. My primary concern right now is just being able to access that data, which, you know, where is it? Yeah, sad face. Yeah, sad face. Nothing is over here. Why is nothing over here? I don't get it. So we're going to continue on.
To demo this setup. So once we select that, we go ahead and select create. And that'll take a minute. So once your pool is created, you'll go back to the storage dashboard. We can see here we have our tank storage. It's a VDEV RAID
Server storage, which, you know, a name is a name.
1Z, 4 wide, 8 gigabytes.
Okay.
Its usage, its health, and the disk health.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we have our storage tank,
So far, this is making sense. This is making sense to me.
pool, we want to create a data set on that pool.
Okay.
So we'll select data set.
And I'll go ahead and go over here to data sets. Now, I've got IX applications here. I believe that that's where, I'm not 100% sure. But whenever I got rid of IX applications right here, I wasn't able to load any apps on it like SyncThing. My understanding with that is that in order to load SyncThing on and be able to have SyncThing as an app on the TrueNAS Scale OS, is that I had to have it on there so that way I could run SyncThing to have it work properly. Because for a while I was operating off the one drive and I wiped the other one by accident, which, you know, not a big deal, but I definitely wanted to get my data duplicated back onto my backup hard drive so that way I, you know, wasn't in a panic mode about only having one source for all my footage. That if that drive failed at all during that point, that I only had the one source of one single source, and if something happened with that drive, I'm screwed. You know, that's the whole point of this. So yeah, that would not have been a good scenario. Yeah, I'm really not sure, like, this is the part that I get so messed up on. Okay, so permissions.
Share data set was created.
Share data set was created, okay. Data written.
And these are the permissions.
Permissions,
We will come back.
okay. Owner and group has to be root. Go away. Okay, owner and group. Oh. Maybe that's where I screwed up. That makes sense. Root. And then root. Where's root? Groot? No. Save. It didn't do anything. See about logging back in. Didn't do anything. Okay, cool. Not really cool, but or did it do something? I don't know. Refresh. No. Backup. Shares. Nope. How about if I try to go back into it? Will I even be able to get back into it? I don't know at this freaking point. Nope. Okay, cool. Not cool. Annoying.
Back to this in a minute. What we want to do now is we want to create a group or a user that's going to have access to this data set.
Okay.
So, in other words, the files and the folders within this data set.
Yes.
You need to apply permissions for a group or a user. Right now, It's the built-in administrators group,
Okay.
the built-in users group, root, and root for the owner and the group. So we don't necessarily want this built-in administrators group to have access, because that's going to be using the username and password that would have access to TrueNAS.
I'm thirsty. The other part that I totally forgot to mention about the reason that I'm doing this, the main reason that I'm actually doing this, I want to provide as much value to whoever my first client is going to be, first, actual like paying client. I want to be able to provide as much value as possible, and one of the ways that I think that I can provide the most value is, being able to say that, hey, I self-host, I have my own server. Because in all honesty, I don't know of many content creators that can say that. If you can, and you're a content creator like me, if you're a video producer like me, awesome. I don't know of many creators that are doing that. I know plenty of people are backing up their footage and photos with, plug and play hard drives, USB, and everything like that. And some are relying on cloud storage from, Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever the case is like that. And to that, I say proceed with caution. The more data that you give people, and also, keep in mind, even with the fact that I haven't had any clients for a while, like I haven't had any income from my business for a while, I am still, at the end of the day, I don't have to pay for storage because I'm, my footage is still on my hard drive and it hasn't gone anywhere or done anything, whatever like that, and I can access it anytime I want to. I've got, you saw how much storage I have on, how much footage I have on my hard drive. I haven't had to pay for that. Like, I paid for it once, and I've had this hard drive for years, right? I paid like, what? I'm going to say like $150, $200 for it, years ago or whatever the case was like that. Yeah, sure, it was a larger upfront investment for me, but at the end of the day, it was still, it's still cheaper to do it that way versus, 10 terabytes on Google Drive is, I don't even know how much at this point. No, credentials, local groups. Okay. I got BAM and BAM 1. I don't care which I'm going to make sure about this one
first. So you'll see here that the admin that we're logged in with has his own group, which is fine. That's standard and default. But what we're going to do is going to add a new group. So click on add. The group name is going to be share users. We're going to select the option for Samba authentication.
Samba. Okay, did I do that? Yes.
And click on save. Now we have a group called share users. And this is going to be useful because we can add individual users to this group to add or remove access to our share later on. So now we can go and we can create a user. So go ahead, back to credentials and select local user.
Credentials and local users. Okay.
You want to hide all these, select that, and you can see we only got a couple of actual users. Root, don't have access to. Admin's the one that we're using right now.
That's interesting. Okay, so is that what I've got right now? Admin, root doesn't have anything. Okay, yep.
And media, just another standard user for mounted media. So let's create a new user, select add, and we'll put in the details. This one, we're gonna make a share for Dave. So for Dave, we are not going to need a primary group, and the auxiliary group that we're going to add him to is all the way at the bottom because that's the last group we created, and that's share users. For the primary group, we're going to select no group.
Okay, hold on. Auxiliary group.
Last group. Dave, we are not going to need a primary group, and the auxiliary group that we're going to add him to is all the way at the bottom because that
Share users auxiliary group. Okay. I've already got that. Wait, share users. Built-in user BAM system. Why is it not showing up? Did that, yeah, okay. Auxiliary groups. Wait a minute. Did I?
So for Dave, we are not going to need a primary group,
Okay.
and the auxiliary group that we're going to add him to is all the way at the bottom because that's the last group we created.
Okay, that's the last group that was created. What do you mean by that?
Local groups,
Local
because we're going to
groups.
create a group first. So you'll see here that the admin that we're logged in with has his own group, which is fine. That's standard and default. But what we're going to do is we're going to select the option add a new group. So click on add. The group name is going to be share user.
Okay. Okay. And then because of the fact that I did the primary group as BAM, I should only need to do that one, right? In theory? In theory.
This one,
Okay.
we're going to make a share for Dave. So for Dave, we are not going to need a primary group, and the auxiliary group that we're going to add him to is all the way at the bottom because that's the last group we created, and that's share users.
Okay.
For the primary group, we're going to select no group.
Primary group is no group. Okay.
Because we don't want Dave to have a user and group really on TrueNAS that you can log into within TrueNAS or anything like that, these settings will work fine. The shell, because we don't need Dave to log into a shell within TrueNAS at all, we can say no login. He's going to be a Samba authentication enabled user because that's the point of his user. So this looks all good, and we
Okay. password must be changed. Okay. Okay. See if that did the trick.
Click on save. So now that we have Dave created, he doesn't have a login for a shell. He doesn't have a primary group or a home directory. He is just a user within TrueNAS with very limited possibilities of doing anything. So now we want to allow Dave, or the group that Dave is in, to access the dataset.
Okay.
So let's go over to datasets, select the shared dataset, and we will edit the permissions.
Okay, this is the part that I always get tripped up on. Okay, so shares, nope, datasets, shares, and then edit the permissions. All right, here we go. Let's see what else we need to do here. And
So
already this looks way different from what I've got. Like, yeah, and I don't understand how this is so much different. Who objective, who owner, and I can't change that either. I don't understand why or how this is so different. What am I even under right here? Owner root. Okay. There it is. No. Okay. There we go. That okay, that's looking a lot better. Except for that part. Why is that part still wrong? Why? Okay, whatever.
What I'd like to do is remove the built-in administrators from this. Like I was saying earlier, we don't want users to use the same credentials to access the share that they do to access the TrueNAS interface.
Group built-in administrators. Group. There is no built-in administrators.
So let's remove that. Or remove built-in users. We don't need the users that are built into TrueNAS to have access to the share. There may be reasons why you would want this. Maybe there's some built-in users that are part of another application that you want to have access to this specific data set. That's fine. If you have that, you can re-add this later or not remove it. But for now, for our purpose, we are going to remove it because we don't need any outside users other than the users we want to access this. So we'll remove that. Then what we'll do is we will select.
Okay, so owner at root and group at root. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. God, I'm so scared to delete anything that he didn't say to not delete. Owner at root and group at root. ACL type. I don't see any of that stuff that he's talking about. Okay.
The option here to add item. This is going to add a line here. So we can add Dave as an individual user that's fine. That would grant access to the user Dave. The downside to this is that you would be managing individual users' access every time you added a new person or wanted someone else to have access to the share. You'd have to go in here and add that individual person and grant them access with all these different settings. So in our case, we're not going to do that. We're going to select group.
Okay, add item. Group.
So we can just add a person, and when we add that person, we add them to the group in the users section of TrueNAS, and they automatically get the ability to access the share. So the group that we're going to add
is gonna be share users, which, if I'm not mistaken, is gonna be the last one on here. What was that?
is share users. The ACL type is going to be allow.
I'm just gonna do that one because that should be.
And this is going to be a pretty basic user. We want them to be able to access, read, write, and modify files on the share.
Okay.
Now you could go further. You could give them
Basic permissions.
So we'll just go with modify there, and then we can save the access controller.
And guess what? ACL requires a mask entry to be present in the ACL. Track back most recent call last. Okay. I don't understand any of this. I genuinely don't. File line and return await loop. Python return file. Require a mask entry to be present in ACL. What the hell is a mask entry? I don't understand. I don't. I don't know what a mask entry is.
So now we have a data set, which is just a place to hold.
I don't. I don't like that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just group, user share in my case, bam. Group. Okay, so group. Bam. Read, write, execute, save. Name the user or group. What does this mean? Okay. A lot of times these boards can be really helpful, but a lot of times it's no more helpful than literally what I'm dealing with here. I had played Scale Beta earlier this morning, but I cannot seem to get the ACL permissions into update error. Okay, when trying to okay, not what I'm looking for. Got it. TrueScale SMB issues. Acquire a mask. Go away. Hi all, bit bullet and upgraded to TrueNAS Scale Beta. I don't believe I'm on beta. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't see anywhere that says beta. Install it manually. No. Yeah, I don't think I'm on beta. General. Yeah, I don't see anything that says beta. Disabled. Yeah, no, not on beta. I'm just gonna assume not on beta. When I try to change ACLs, I get and see this shit came right back up again. Like, well, okay, I couldn't save it. Okay, so add group, and there is no share, not that I saw at least. Users, but I'm not seeing anything that says anything about share. Nope. Okay, I'm just gonna stick with BAM then. To hell with it. Doot. Gotta select all those, and then, and it still cannot do it. Okay, let's double check. Error in the systems. Not the same. Okay, cool. So still not what I'm looking for. Set of permissions ACL. I can't do this. I can't. No, I can't. Step-by-step guided data set, shares, app permissions, so on and so forth. Okay, I've already got the video downloaded. So I guess I'll go ahead and see about that one then.
Hi there. Welcome to MCSI. My name is Erica. In this video, we will discuss some concepts about access control lists on Windows.
Subtitle.
Let's start with understanding what access control lists are. Computers running Windows were designed to be multi-user systems. For every file and program on that computer, the administrator can configure the level of access a user would have to it. For example, one user can only read a file, whereas another user can read a file and write to it. An access control list, or ACL, formally defines the read, write, and execute permissions that a user or a group has on a file or a program. When a file is created, a default access control list is assigned to it. It can be modified by the system administrator. Since the ACL contains the security information for a file or program, it is also referred to as security descriptor.
Okay, makes sense.
Now, I will demonstrate how you can view access
Thank
control
you. I needed
lists
the
in
visual
user
demonstration.
Let's consider the program notepad.exe. Right-click on the file and select
Really?
Properties.
To hell with
Navigate
it.
to the Security tab. Here, we can view the list of user and groups who can use this program. Click on a user or group and view
no.
the permissions assigned to them here.
This is
This
still not what I'm
constitutes
looking
the
for.
access control list, or ACL, for the Notepad program. Using the command prompt, the command ICSCLS can be used to view the ACL associated with a file or program.
Yeah, this is not what I'm. Nope. Not even close to what I was looking for. If I'm to be honest. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 2 years ago? Shit. Whatever.
Hello everybody, my name is Alan from Sauber Lab, and today will be another video about TrueNAS. Not only TrueNAS, we're gonna start to explain a little bit more about the TrueNAS Scale, as this system now is a stable version or release version.
Cool.
And now you can use for production. In this video specifically, I will show about permissions. Permission for users, permission for group, and how to configure it for different applications. In the previous video, I show how you can create a dataset, and this dataset
It looks like he's more well lit than I am.
User. What is not good if you have more than one user, or you work in a company with 3, 4, 5 or either more users. And in this way you want to set up groups, or you want to set up user permissions specific for each application. So in this video we're gonna show it. If you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show, but first of all, don't forget to leave your like, consider to subscribe for the channel, and let's understand a little bit more about it.
Come on.
RAM memory. Other thing, you will not be able to access this system. Here in my storage, I have my data and my applications.
Okay.
Other thing that I need to remember that in the last video I create a user called Sauber.
Okay.
And once that I create this user, they create a Sauber group. But we're gonna delete everything and we're gonna create a proper use and a proper group. So
Okay.
first thing that I'm gonna do, I will delete, and I delete this group, and I come here and delete this user as well. So now what I can do, I need to start to configure it. First thing that I suggest you to do is to configure the groups, and then after this one we can add the users. First group that we're gonna configure is home users. So home users, I could put any name, but I want that everyone that's work in this company or in this situation can access everything that's inside these home users. I will select some authentication and put save. Now this is my first group that I create, and all the permissions that I will add is that they have access for one specific file, and this folder everyone will have access.
While it's important to stay hydrated, something that's equally important is brain food. Think that's enough? I agree. More. Yes. I'm probably not going to eat all these chocolate chips in one setting. I'm probably going to put most of these back, but oh well, prefer to have too many than not enough.
And I will have access for all the folders. So what I want to do, I wanted to check others permissions. So now I put here
Permissions editor. I just now caught that permissions editor. Let's see what happens whenever I go. Okay, so should I put flags on this default? Wait a minute. I can't even select.
have properly access for this system, will have access for all the folders. So what I want to do, I wanted to check others permissions. So now I put here
Permissions editor. Where's permissions editor? Use open.
gonna do, we're gonna select the restrict, what in my opinion is the best one.
Root.
For most of the applications. So set ACL, select as restrict and put continue. In this way, only the root have access for read and write, and object have read and write. What we're gonna do, we're gonna add a new item. Here, new item. First one I will add
Group, I'm guessing.
as a mask, and I will put read, write,
Oh. Oh. Is that it?
and execute. Next one, I will create for my group. So select group,
Nothing about that was obvious. Is this it?
group, come here, and I select group call home users and put read, write, and execute.
Home users. So that would be, in my case, that'd be BAM. Right, execute.
Permissions,
Apply permissions. It's gonna say that. I really don't like that.
I put OK. I wanted to permit all the subfolders and apply for permission for all the child parts. In this way, if I put save, now
Okay. Did that do it?
all the home users will have access for these folders. They have a root and root.
Yeah. Does it? Or will it automatically show up? No. Damn. It still can't access it. Shit. Back up. Yeah, I genuinely do not know what I'm missing.